Bam! What is up, guys? Week 2 of the weekly roundup series, a series dedicated to putting all of our programming for the week into one video so you guys can kind of understand what we're doing and how it could be so critical at helping you to improve your performance while you're at home doing these workouts or in your garage or at the park or wherever you're getting them done. So we can still get really fit, and that's what this whole thing is about. So Monday of last week, we started by increasing our progressive tempo run by 1 minute. So we went from 5 minutes to 6 minutes this time, plus the return. So let's say it took me 6 minutes. I'm running out from my start point as far as I can get in 6 minutes. And then the goal at that 6 minute mark was to return back to my start point faster than the 6 minutes it took me to get out there. So we're making it tempo by increasing our run pace. This will progress every single week like this. So every single week you're getting a little bit better. You're adding a little bit more to get a little stronger in your running in an aerobic fashion. So part 2 of Monday, piece 2, was an engine builder, and we're using accessory work movements for the running, so to speak, within the air squat. So we're still building those legs and the endurance in the leg, and the penguin tap also. You'll notice when you're running that you do get a lot of ankle hitting the ground, right? So there's a whole lot happening into the ankle, and we're adding some volume into that with the penguin tap. Or it could have been some skill work if you were doing double unders, but no worries if you weren't, because penguin tap, the whole point anyway for that movement choice in general was to add a little bit of a monostructural thing, so something that's repetitive and easy to stay moving with, that will challenge you with bigger sets. And then you had hollow rocks to hit that core and balance out some of the hip work that was happening on the running and the jumping and the air squats, and making sure we're balancing out the core muscles by getting those hit as well by adding volume and blood flow to that. So that was Monday. Hope you enjoyed. All right, so Tuesday you started off with, Monday was all about aerobic work. Tuesday, it's all about skill and intensity. So we're switching the energy systems and what you're required to do. It's balancing it all out. So again, in test week, we tested the handstand holds and wall sits for max durations. So within the first piece here, the skill work, we're gonna be trying to increase that each week by the total EMOM time. So you were doing an EMOM with it, and then you were doing different hold variations that you could have chosen based on where you're at, where your ability is to hold. And then we're gonna increase that each week by upping the total EMOM time, and as well as the total time you're being asked to hold the position. So again, we'll be increasing that each week slowly, so that when it comes time to retest it, you'll be a lot better. Also, the reason why we chose these two movements for the holds, handstand holds, a great way to increase all of your pressing strength. So if we're doing push press, strict press, jerks, or even dips or bench pressing, if you get stronger, healthier, stable shoulders overhead, you're gonna be stronger. It's gonna translate into all those types of movements. Also, really great for shoulder health, joint, ligament, and tendon health. When we hold those positions, it's also gonna help with your mechanics and your mobility through the body, for those of you interested in that type of stuff. And then the wall sit, again, keeping healthy knees by doing these holds, really good for the joints and the quad muscle. While we're doing these holds, this also translates to getting you stronger in your squats and anything requiring the quad to fire, which is a lot of stuff. So great movement to introduce for holding to build strength and stability. Those are why we chose those two movements. The next piece, sorry, it's a little blurry there. So 10 rounds, you have 8 burpees to start, and then you have 10 alternating dumbbell snatches with a 30-second rest. So these two movements, again, they play off of the first piece that was asked of you. So we're still using some similar muscle groups. We're doing it in such, excuse me, in such a way where you're trying to go as fast as possible, rest for 30 seconds, and you're doing that for 10 whole rounds. So how quickly can you flush all that lactic acid during that rest time? Some of you, 30 seconds was beautiful. It was just enough time to allow you to create some consistency across all 10 rounds, meaning let's say every round you finish in 45 seconds. 45 seconds. If the 30 seconds wasn't long enough to you, you'll notice that it had exposed a weakness, and we need to work on more stuff like this to help you be able to recover within those short durations. So how does this translate to people trying to lose weight? It's great high intensity interval training. It's gonna spike your heart rate quickly and then let it come back down, which is gonna help you burn more fat and calories. Remember what we talked about with that though, that you don't actually burn body fat, you burn the macronutrient fat, or you burn calories or just energy that you're consuming. That's how it works. So that was Tuesday. We'll get into Wednesday. All right, so day 3, Wednesday, you had a ladder. You had 2 rounds of this ladder. So it was a 12-minute ladder where all that means is every round you increase the rep count. So our rep count was 1, 2, and 3 on round 1. Since it's a 12-minute AMRAP, we're going for 12 minutes. The next round, you increase to 2, 4, 6. The next round increase to 3, 6, 9, and so on. You increase until the 12 minutes is up. So ladder work is a great way for you to work on your energy systems because it's going to start off really intense as you cycle movements really quickly. So your heart rate starts to jack fast, and then you got to settle in and ride it out because it turns into more of an aerobic workout where you have to pick a strong pace that allows you to keep moving as these sets get bigger and bigger and more challenging to hold on to. So you hear a lot during certain types of workouts that it's important to do big sets rather than small sets. And your ability to understand when to do those type of things and your ability to actually get it done and hold on to big sets is really good for you to attack workouts with. So if you're a competitor, you kind of want to be interested in this type of training thrown in weekly. So another thing, if you're trying to just focus on losing weight or getting stronger, great thing to do here because it starts off with some high intensity training and then it shifts over into an aerobic state. So you're working all your energy systems, getting a really good bang for your buck within one workout. You had a 6-minute rest after you did 12 minutes and then you were asked to repeat that effort. So how close could you recover completely in the 6 minutes with a 2-to-1 rest to work ratio? So we're resting half of the time that we're working. So 12 minutes and 6 minutes. That should have allowed you to completely recover and then get really close to the first score you submitted for the 12 minutes or better. Some of you could have even got better if you really pushed, or at least a ballpark within the range of that first 12-minute score. So if you were 10 reps or so to it, your ability to recover within that 6 minutes was really good, meaning good job. And then if not, you exposed a weakness for yourself. That's also, we need to do this type of training so you can understand your ability to ward off that intensity feeling that happens in the beginning and being able to settle into the workout. And yep, that's Wednesday. Hope you enjoyed the workout. All right, guys, so Thursday, remember Monday you had a long aerobic piece for the running. Thursday you have sprints, which are just going to work on explosiveness and power output. So it's going to be a great way to hold on to your strength or even increase it actually through the legs. So if we're not doing heavy pulls and heavy squatting, you can still get that strength stimulus within sprints. So really important that you were able to tackle these. We did it in such a way where we're building off of that test week thing that we were doing with the 15 seconds. We're going to help that by doing 5 sets of a 5-second sprint with plenty of time to recover. So you have 55 seconds to recover for that 5-second sprint. That's to allow you to attack that run for the full 5 seconds at maximal output. And then you have 5 sets of a 20-second sprint. So you're probably gonna slow down quite a bit from the initial 5 seconds to the last 15 seconds, but we're still running as hard as we can and allowing 140 to rest. So you should have been fully recovered by the time that 20 seconds came around, or you just exposed a weakness. Myself, I did this on the bike, and man, I almost threw up towards the end. 140 was not enough time for me to recover, which just means I have to work on more of this type of stuff so that I can recover within those energy requirements. So yeah, you had 10 sets total of sprints. You got a lot of good work done there. So remember, if you couldn't sprint, hopping on a bike or a machine can give you that same stimulus as long as you can go as hard as you can. The next piece, yesterday you had 2 initial 12-minute AMRAPs, right? So it was more of a chipper style workout. Sorry, not a chipper, a triplet style workout where you had those 3 movements and you were building into bigger sets. Today it's all about strength and stability. So we weren't trying to mess with the heart rate too much since you got a lot of that done with the running and yesterday's work and days previous. So today, all about strength and stability. Like I said, you had a right leg lunge hold, active, not letting the bottom knee touch, a left leg hold. Remember, just like we talked about in the first weekly roundup, we're doing these split stance, these lunge holds to make sure we're working on health through the joints and ligaments and tendons, and that we keep strength isometrically so that this translates when we start getting under heavy load in the future. 30 seconds of T-planks were next. This is working on shoulder rotational and stability strength. So we're avoiding rotation through the core as we try to hold our bodies in a good position. And as we switch sides, you're getting one arm working. And we were earlier in the week holding handstand holds. So really important that we switch the plane of motion. So we're coming from the floor this time and we're getting rotation involved, making sure the shoulder joint explores all ranges of motion in holds, not just pushing or pulling. So the last thing was the air squat hold. 40 seconds, you were asked to hold that for actively. So if you're really strong at the bottom of your squat and nice and stable and you can hold it for a long duration, it's going to only make you stronger in any variation of squatting you do with the bar or with any weighted implement. So really being able to spend time down there will help you perform. Also for you guys that are in it for just body transformational purposes, being able to hold the bottom of a squat makes you really mobile, and it's really important for our health and wellness in life that we are able to be mobile for forever as we age. So there's your bang for your buck in the workout there. All right, so to wrap things up, Friday, we ended things with a strength piece and then a chipper to jack the heart rate and end on a good conditioning workout that balanced out the whole rest of the week in terms of movements that we're asked to perform. So we started off with the Turkish get up. We were building to a heavy on each side of the body. Turkish get up is an amazing opportunity for you to build strength through your whole body pretty much. It's going to increase stability, mobility, and strength through the trunk, as well as in your shoulders, as well as in your legs and hips. It's really important for us to be able to put our bodies and get them strong in all different types of ranges of motion. So you notice if all we ever do is deadlift, clean and jerks, snatches, we're always in this one plane of motion. Squats, we're always right here, right? So it's really important for us to be able to rotate, to bend, and to hold things above our head. It's only going to increase your body's ability to stay strong for the health and well-being side of things. So Turkish get-ups, amazing movements that we don't often get to do in the class setting. So really good opportunity for you to work and build strength at home while we're doing this, and as well as if you're doing individual training, throwing it in weekly. So big weakness for me, probably was for a lot of you. We'll have opportunity every single week. We'll do this once a week of increasing this movement. So the next piece you got into was a chipper. Sorry about the glare. It was 100 walking lunges this time. Yesterday we did holds within the lunge. Earlier in the week we had air squats. So now we're throwing in the walking lunge to make sure we're giving you different stimuluses, different movements. And this time you were asked to do a whole lot of them at once. So 100 of them at once. Then you got into 80 Superman. So we're working that low back, still making sure we're keeping that thing healthy. Especially if you're doing a lot of sitting, really good to work that low back as well. Also for the lunges, they're hitting the hips and the core. Again, important things to do when you're sitting a lot. 60 side leg laying leg lifts. We didn't know what to call this thing. You're laying on your side, you're lifting your leg up. Amazing way to hit the sides of your glutes. I know I got a big burn while I was doing them. It was 30 per side. You might have seen these in AD's workout videos. Some of those movements were trash. This isn't one of them. These are really good for your glutes. Really good to get your leg in a different plane of motion than what we're used to, which is in that squatting or lunging motion. If we're doing a side leg raise, we're hitting it in an entirely different way. Looks silly, great movement for you. That's going to translate to the strength in your squats and pulls, as well as having strong hips. The hips are the engine in everything we do, so really important we build that. Then you were laying down in a hollow position and doing a single leg toe touch, so almost like a lemon squeeze, where you're tucking and touching the opposite side. So this is a great way to make sure we're balancing out what we've done so far in the week with the core. So we did sit-ups, and then we did some T-planks, a couple other things, but making sure that we hit one leg at a time and coming across our body, we're really making sure we're balancing all of it out within that movement. So that was the choice, the reason for the choices there. Hope you enjoyed the whole week and that you can see it all. Everything has a rhyme and a reason. This is a great opportunity still for us to get really fit, so I hope you're enjoying that. I know this week was really tough for me, so I'm excited about what it'll translate to for myself when we get back into the gym. Thanks for everything, guys. Hope you had a great weekend, and we'll see you Monday.